I'd like to talk about Buddhist meditation practice briefly in theory and in practice in simple terms. The first point I'd like to make is meditative mind is a fully conscious mind. In contrast to that, habitual mind is subconscious mind. I'm using both Buddhist meditative terms and Western psychological terms. Meditative mind is to train the mind to be fully conscious in the operation of the mind itself and also in the function of the speech and the body. I'm saying this, we can illustrate this, for example. People eat. When they eat, many of them, they use just their subconscious mind. That's a habit. If you put food into your mouth, you start chewing. But your mind is not fully conscious of the taste, or the touch, of the texture of the food. To put it in a more poetic way, there is a lost opportunity in eating. You eat, but you don't get to know the taste. This happens not just to children, but to the people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, perhaps. It gets worse in their 50s, 60s, and the rest. So when we do meditation, we try to develop fully conscious mind. We try to promote a fully conscious mind as a habit. Another example is that we breathe. If we don't breathe, we can't live. But we breathe subconsciously, almost. When we breathe subconsciously and not fully conscious, what happens is that there's no connection between the mind and the body. As if there is no connection. By this, I'm saying sometimes they go different direction. I'll be saying about this more later when I make my second point. But now I think it's sufficient to say that most people, they breathe only subconsciously. I mean, they pay just half attention, maybe less than that, to their breathing. When that happens, that breathing is not regular, that breathing is easily interrupted. That is why when we do meditation, we start with training the mind to work together with the body, at the same time to develop full consciousness of our experience. That experience may be breathing, it may be eating, it may be walking, it may be simply just drinking water. Breathing in, we are aware of the in-breath. Breathing out, we are aware of the out-breath. This is to be fully conscious of our own breath. We do breathe anyway, but we hardly pay attention to our breathing. So we don't know if we inhale enough oxygen, if our blood receives enough oxygen when it goes through our lungs. We don't know. Because we do these things almost as a biological mechanism, subconsciously. So this is to make the same point from a different point of view, that meditation in Buddhism is not about connecting with anything outside you, outside yourself, with any creator, with any forces outside, with any mediator. None of that. Instead, it's about developing full consciousness, full conscious experience. When you drink water, you're aware that you're drinking water. You feel the touch of the water on your tongue. When you walk, you feel the touch of your feet, your soul, with the flow. You live every single moment. You embrace every experience fully. In the absence of meditative mind, what we call usually mindfulness, what happens is that the mind is led by its own habit. Usually negative habits that develop in subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is the mirror of ourselves. If you wake up early in the morning, you look at the mirror, what you see in the mirror is like the subconscious mind. It has no initiative. It just reflects what is outside. The picture in the mirror cannot start smiling. It has to be you outside the mirror who starts smiling, laughing, or crying. All the initiatives, they come from you, not from the picture, not your picture in the mirror. So you yourself outside the mirror is like conscious mind. It has initiative, independent thinking, reasoning ability, decision-making power. But the feature of the picture in the mirror is that it follows you faithfully. Exactly. It's just like a child imitating an adult. The adult is fully conscious mind. The child is the subconscious mind. Buddhist meditation is to change the habit of the mind. What we change is to first change ourselves from working with mostly subconscious mind, subconscious habit, to fully conscious mind. And this is what we call mindfulness or Buddhist meditation. You can give any name Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana. You can pick anything. You can call Satipatthana, mindfulness-based meditation. You can call anything. The main thing is that Buddhist meditation encourages fully conscious experience, and it considers the negative habits to be resident in the subconscious mind. So we are going to start focusing on breathing. There are many ways of breathing. Some people focus on just the nostril. Some people watch the wind going in and out. Some people follow the wind going in and out. Some people just station at the tip of the nose, watching the wind going in and out. Some people count in breath 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 or even 10 or 12 or more. And some people count out breath also, some people don't. There are many ways, many techniques of developing full consciousness, full conscious feeling with the breath. Some people observe the rising and falling of the tummy, the abdomen, and that's okay as well. The main thing is we're trying to do everything with conscious mind instead of just following our subconscious mind and our habitual mind. So now we are going to start. To start, you can you can sit, on the floor. You can sit on a chair like me. Now I sit on a chair because I have hurt my leg. I have had operation on my left ankle, so it's rather unnecessarily uncomfortable to be sitting on the floor for me at this point in time. As you can sit on your sofa at home, or you can sit on a chair like this. You can sit on the floor on a cushion, or just simply on the floor. And it's best to keep your body straight, your head straight, and look ahead. Keep your hands on top of each other, and then start breathing in and out. You can breathe a little bit deeper and slower than usual, just to encourage full conscious experience of the breath. Breathing in, if you like, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathing out, again you can count 1 to 7. Just keep your eyes lightly closed and focus on your breath, trying to experience breathing with full conscious mind. have already made a point that meditation in Buddhism is about improving our conscious experience instead of being led by the subconscious habit. Now, I'd like to make another point, which is about the mind and body relationship. The mind and the body, when our mind is fully conscious, the mind and the body, they work together in harmony. But when the mind and the body are not working together, we will find that we don't have concentration, we don't have mindfulness. There is not enough awareness of what's going on in our mind and around us. The mind and the body relationship, just to give you one example. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. That's me. I have already made a point that Buddhist meditation is not about contemplating anything outside you, about a creator or mediator. I have already made a point that Buddhist meditation is not about getting in touch with mediator, with creator, or getting in touch with the creator itself. We don't focus on those things in the Buddhist practices. It's about experiencing our life moment by moment with full conscious mind. Usually people are led by the habitual mind, which is strong in the subconscious. So, another point I'd like to make is the relationship between the mind and the body. When there is or when there is not fully conscious mind, or to use more familiar term with practitioners, when we are mindful, what happened to the mind-body relationship? And if we are not mindful, what happens to that relationship? Some people sit long hours in the office. Their mind is obsessed with deadlines. Some people with exams. Some people with travel arrangements. They forget what their body is telling them. Their body is tired, is getting tense, the muscles are tense. So the body is giving a clear message to the mind, but the mind is not listening. Actually, the mind doesn't hear those messages. If the mind goes one direction, the body the other. They walk different directions because there is no mindfulness. Mindfulness or fully conscious mind or meditative mind, call it whatever you want, is the coordinating. It coordinates between the mind and the body. When you work so hard, maybe in your study, maybe at work, or some people driving. So when you work so hard and the body needs rest, usually it gives a clear message. The body needs to refill oxygen. It needs to top up that oxygen tank. But the mind is so occupied with something else. So in the Buddhist meditation, the first thing we do is to focus on the body. To train the mind to listen to the messages from the body. To listen to the body. If the muscles are tense and tired, if the body is in pain, to listen to the body, to coordinate between the mind and the body, to improve the relationship between the mind and the body. In Theravada meditation, just to be slightly technical, we say the first step of knowledge, meditative knowledge, is the knowledge when we can distinguish a well-coordinated, in the well-coordinated experience, if we can distinguish this is the function of the mind, this is the function of the body. That's called the first step of meditative knowledge. Why? And why this matters? Because when you develop mindfulness in meditation, the mind and the body, they start coordinating very nicely. They work in harmony. When you breathe in, the mind is with the in-breath. When you breathe out, the mind is with out-breath. When you walk, as you lift your feet, your mind is there as well. And when your ear hears a sound from outside, your mind also works with your ear. It's the same when you eat, when you talk, when you read, when you think. The coordination becomes almost perfect that you can't distinguish between the function of the mind and the body, between the mind and the body. So at that stage, if you can distinguish, this is the experience of the mind, this is the experience of the body, we call this the first step in the meditative knowledge. And this is very important. Some people, they work long hours, they are occupied with that deadline and they forget that their body is hungry, they don't eat. So they develop ulcers. They develop neck pain, stiff shoulders. because there is no coordination between the mind and the body. In a more technical sense, when the mind and the body are not well coordinated, that's the time when we can be easily attacked by stress and pressure of work, pressure of life, all sorts of negative emotions. When our emotions turn negative, that has an impact on our brain. On the right side of our prefrontal cortex has more high activities, and not the left one. But when the mind and the body are well coordinated, the left one has more activities. So you can even distinguish in the brain, in the function of the brain. But that's not the end of it, and that's not the only significant features in the mind-body relationship. A stressful mind or negative emotion, they give a signal to the brain. The brain is considered to be physical body in the Buddhist understanding. Then the brain in turn gives a message to the nervous system, the whole body, in the whole body. So our body starts going into emergency mode. Our heart starts pumping more blood into the vein, the arteries. So you're using up a lot of your energies, perhaps unnecessarily. This is because the mind has gone into emergency mode without informing the body, without coordinating with the body, without checking with the body if this actually is the emergency case. It doesn't go into the emergency mode alone. It actually alerts, as I have just explained in brief, the brain, and then the brain, the nervous system, the whole system goes into emergency mode. So we become tired. This is because lack of coordination between the mind and the body. It's something like we are a team, but one of us, misunderstood a situation, an ordinary situation, to be an emergency one, and sets up an alarm. So the whole group is in a panicky mode. Everyone goes into emergency situation, using more blood, using more oxygen in the body. And that in turn puts pressure on the mind. And the mind pressurizing the body as well. So that's how the cycle of creating pressure goes on between the mind and the body. So it's very important for physical health as well as psychological health that we coordinate between the mind and the body. To do this, we breathe in mindfully. We train the mind to work with the body. And we train the mind to work with the body, not just on breathing, but also on sound when you hear something, on physical discomfort, which I should say a little bit more later. So this is just to emphasize how meditative mind or fully conscious mind improves the relationship between the mind and the body. The result is that when the mind and the body are well coordinated, you don't get stressed often. The subconscious mind, the habitual mind, which triggers emergency alarm, will not be in control. Mostly the conscious mind, with independent reasoning and well-coordinated skill with the body, will be in charge. This is how people don't get stressed out often if their mind is meditative. If they keep up maybe at least about 10-15 minutes of meditation daily. So we go into meditation once again. Just close your eyes lightly as you breathe in and out, slow and gentle. Be mindful of the state of your physical body. If physically you are tired, if your body is heavy, if some part of your body is tense, then just recognize it. Just recognize tension without fighting it. Just recognize it. Register that tension 3 times. This is tension. This is tension. This is tension. Experience that physical tension mindfully with full conscious mind. And then return to breathing. So register tension, then release it, and then return to breathing. Register, release, and return. Register, release, and return. there are many techniques in Buddhist meditation practice, even in the same country like in Myanmar. But as far as I'm concerned, all the meditation techniques and practices, they emphasize about transformation, if you like to use the word. If it's too big, we can use the word change. It's about changing ourselves, from subconscious reaction to conscious acceptance. I use the word subconscious reaction. I'm referring to auto-reaction, automatic reaction. When we hear something we don't like, we can see automatic reaction. If somebody tells you that, can you help me? I want it in 10 minutes. When you're given a very short notice, when you hear that, how that information triggers, subconscious reaction, almost automatic reaction. And in the same way, when you like something, how that how reaction comes automatically, and that from subconscious mind. We have accumulated this habit, and we store that in our subconscious mind. When we encounter with something outside, that experience with the outside world helps us to retrieve that habit from our subconscious mind. The Buddhist meditation practice is about changing, from this subconscious reaction into fully conscious acceptance. What do I mean acceptance? Okay, if there is a traffic jam, you're getting impatient. That impatience is an automatic reaction. It's a habitual reaction that comes from your subconscious mind. What you can do is to pay full attention to that impatience, to experience that impatience with full consciousness. This is how impatience is like. You want to overtake every other driver. If you can't, your mind will start blaming them, or you will start blaming yourself for leaving your home, for leaving home maybe 10 minutes late, maybe 15 minutes late. You will start blaming yourself. All these subconscious and habitual reactions, you can use them as a practical experience to improve your life. The way to do that is to accept them as they are, as real experience. In pre-Buddhist India, such experience would be they would be rubbish as illusion, Maya. That's what happened in Brahmanic religious thinking. It's not real according to them. But in the Buddhist philosophy and in the Buddhist meditation practices, we consider them to be real. This kind of experience is real. We consider anger to be real, jealousy, insecure feeling, impatience, irritation, frustration, we consider all of them to be real. We call them truth or true reality, according to the translation of Professor Peter Harvey from England. But most people translate them as truth. We call this the first truth. They are the symptoms that we have to study and understand, so that we can find out the real cause of these automatic reactions. There may be pressure, there may be a lot of pressure at work, at home, at university, in the school, in the society. There may be a lot of pressure. But if we don't leave the management of those pressures to our subconscious mind, but if our full conscious mind takes control of the management of our life, then there wouldn't be many reactions. There wouldn't be many automatic reactions. Here, automatic reaction means we top up the pressure. We multiply pressures. By multiplying pressures, we put ourselves under endless pressures. That is why it's important to train the mind to accept, to recognize and accept whatever experience is at the present moment. If that experience is uncomfortable, it's okay. Reassure yourself it's okay. Recognize that experience, accept it. When you eat, if a certain taste doesn't meet your expectation, and there is disappointment or kind of disapproval in the taste, that's okay. Don't blame yourself, don't blame others. Just accept this is the way the mind reacts. And it reacts to this taste. When you see people that you don't like, and when there is reaction, accept that reaction. Acceptance can take place, it can happen only with full conscious mind, with fully conscious mind. So when we breathe in and out mindfully, we are training the mind to accept that this is breathing in, this is breathing out. And you will see that the mind doesn't like this because it's very boring. The mind will start looking out for things more exciting, more attractive. So the mind will start wandering. It's okay. Tell yourself, accept the wandering mind as well. That is here, that is real, accept that. It wouldn't last. It may come back again and again if your habitual reaction is still strong, but that's okay. And any discomfort, physical discomfort, psychological discomfort, that there may be. And whenever there is reaction, those reactions are automatic, they are habitual. You can try to replace them with acceptance. with conscious experience. So in some meditation techniques that have been trained, we use labeling so that we can replace the auto reaction with conscious acceptance. If the body is starting to feel uncomfortable and we move all our attention to the part of the body where we feel discomfort, and then we name it. This is discomfort. This is discomfort. This is discomfort. This is to replace the subconscious reaction with conscious acceptance. When we accept it consciously, then the subconscious mind, the subconscious habit, has nothing to do. Meaning it will not multiply the discomfort. The discomfort will remain at its original level, which is in many cases bearable. So we start this. What we do is, okay, I'm going to ring the bell. You can observe this. You can close your eyes, and when you hear, just observe hearing, paying full attention to the sound. If you don't do this, it happens to some people when they hear something, they get surprised, and there is automatic reaction. After the sound of the bell ringing, it may be the bell from the physical discomfort ringing. It may be your automatic thoughts knocking at the door of your attention. It's okay. Don't fight with them. Just accept them. If you like, you can name them. Hearing, or thinking, or feeling, discomfort, as appropriate. We can start with slow and gentle breathing. one of the fundamental aims of Buddhist meditation practice to embrace and to train the mind to embrace discomfort and pain, if you like, rather than run away from it. In most cases, habitually, we run away from pain, we run away from problem. We think we can escape from that. Some people, when they can't physically run away from that, they suffer. And some people, they escape physically from discomfort, from pain. Say, for example, you sit in a chair like I do now, and you feel discomfort. You're trying to run away from this physically, so what you do is you just move your posture. And many of us, we do this subconsciously. We just move. You may have moved your physical body and you may think that you have escaped from that pain because a relief has come. But psychologically, we develop the habit of running away from anything uncomfortable. By this, I'm saying that we come to have less and less immunity, tolerance level to cope with discomfort. And any discomfort can shake us, can overwhelm us. And we get surprised anytime we are in difficulty. We get surprised because our subconscious mind is only familiar with the message of running away and not stopping and examining the pain or the discomfort in life. That's what people usually did before the Buddha came along in India. They're trying to run away. If they can't run away, if they can't see any way of getting away from trouble here in this life, they imagine that there is a place after life where you can run away from pain, from discomfort. So they live expecting one day they will be there. They live with that hope. But the Buddha said you don't really need to wait until next life. And you don't need to be frightened with discomfort or pain or problem in life. Instead, you can embrace them. You can train your mind to embrace them. The way to do that is what we call in psychology desensitization technique. Desensitization is, say, if someone is afraid of a spider, then first I will talk about a spider, just briefly to this person. How a spider, can be tamed, or how we can manage it. If the person keeps hearing about this, and of course in the first few times there will be reaction, and we analyze those reactions. If the person comes to understand those reactions as well, And then the spider will be less frightening. Then I may introduce a picture of a spider and talk about the spider. After that, I might bring a dead spider so that the person can touch. At each step, there will be fear, there will be reaction, and we work on those reactions. In the end, the person will be able to handle a live spider. This is what desensitization treatment is in clinical psychology. This is to get familiarized with the spider itself. The Buddha says the biggest spider is called suffering, dukkha in Pali, suffering in English. The word suffering is, it has a lot of connotation, and many people don't like it. They say, the Buddha, and after him, his disciples, the Buddhists, are very pessimistic. We only talk about suffering. Actually, what we're trying to do is to desensitize suffering. If the Buddha can talk about suffering and not suffer, you can imagine what a transformation this is. You can talk about problem in many aspects and not suffer. You can look at the courage, the wisdom, the inner strength that the Buddha may have. And we can do the same. We can follow the same path. So when there is any pain, any discomfort, or maybe any suffering in life, any problem, what we should do is to pause and have a look at this. Recognize that here is a problem. Yes, I don't know the answer. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's frightening. Yes, my subconscious mind is pushing me to run away, but I'm here using my full conscious mind or the mindful energy to have a look at this. So we are trying to change our habit from running to embracing pain. We start with physical pain in meditation. When the body starts experiencing pain, we move all our attention to the pain and we register that pain. This is pain, this is pain, this is pain. We register that 3 or 4 times. Then we release it, we return to breathing. So it's a very brief embrace of pain at the beginning. If we can do this much, this is good enough. As the practice develops, we will be able to stay with pain longer. We will still have some reaction, like dislike, and the body becoming tense. We will still have those reactions. We will still have expectation when the pain will go away. And those reactions, if we try to register them, to accept them, and then to release them and to go back to our home, which is breathing, then more and more we become familiar with those reactions. With familiarity, there will be less and less surprise. Without surprise factor, the subconscious mind will not react. Subconscious mind relies on surprise factor. So don't be afraid of discomfort or tension or different ideas in the office. Don't run away from them. Instead, look at your own reaction. Look at the habitual mind that pressurizes you to run away. Tell yourself it's okay. It's okay. And don't blame yourself for having this subconscious habit to run away. People are virtually everyone is hooked to comfort zone. And that's where the subconscious mind is powerful. So we have to resist this and expand our experience by embracing discomfort, pain, dislike. Register them, release them, return to breathing. And finally, we will be able to look at pain, discomfort, disappointment, frustration, tension. We'll be able to look at them with ease and calm. So this is our Buddhist meditation practice. So we trying to meditate a little bit by closing our eyes and scan discomfort from top to toe. Discomfort in the body, discomfort in the mind. Just register them. And it's okay to have them. Don't fight with them. Just embrace them. They can become worthy experience. They may contain a lot of wisdom and energy. I'd like to talk about the importance of compassion as a stress management. Compassion in some culture is not fully understood. For example, in Burmese, when you use the word tanare, that means if somebody has compassion towards you, he has compassion towards me. That can be misinterpreted as you receiving compassion from someone because you are weak, and people don't want to be seen as weak. So there's a lot of misunderstanding of compassion, which I don't have time to mention here. But I like to say that compassion is strength, and it gives you strength to go through difficult times, difficult problems, not to be shaken, but to be fully focused on what you do. The compassion is the quality that we need, especially as stress management. When we are stressed out, usually the mind operates with its own habit. And that habit has its own energy, what some teachers call habit energy. In the Buddhist philosophy, this is called the cause of suffering, that habit energy. Samudaya in Pali. It just keeps spinning and repeating itself again and again. The habit energy. That's how, we lose track at work, in managing our work, our life. There are many things, and we become overwhelmed. So, to develop foundation in stress management, what I propose is to keep in touch with your own pain deeply. That's a start. And to feel compassion for yourself. Whenever there is a problem, whenever there is difficulty, psychologically we are at a crossroads. We have to turn either left or right. If you turn left, for example, you will become frustrated, angry, short-tempered, and disconnected with your own value and with your surrounding, social and spiritual. But the other turn is compassion. Whenever you face difficulty, if you are connected with the difficulty, with the problem mindfully, then instead of frustration and anger, you can develop compassion. Just like the mother with only one child. Problems of raising her child occurs daily. But she wouldn't back off. She wouldn't retreat. She wouldn't give up. She has all the energy to persevere. Why? This is because of compassion. She doesn't want her child to be in trouble, to suffer. Instead, she wants her child to grow stronger, to learn from mistakes, to be well, healthy, intelligent, to do well in life. Compassion. Compassion keeps you going. Frustration will pressurize you to give up. We are facing the same thing, that is pain. But there are two alternatives reaction. One is frustration and giving up. The other is compassion and perseverance. Of course, if you just focus on yourself and not others, you can become self-centered. In psychology, people call this narcissism. And the Buddhist philosophy and the Buddhist psychological tradition have a lot to say about this. But I won't go into that now. What I want to say is that whenever there is, and whenever and wherever there is problem, there is an opportunity for compassion to arise. And compassion will only make you strong. Similarly, whenever and wherever there is problem, there is a chance that you give up and run away and become disconnected. So you can choose. The Buddha chose to connect with the suffering of all humanity. He had a lot of setback in his search for truth before he became enlightened. But what kept him going was compassion, because he felt the pain of every living being. People he knew, people he didn't know. In India, at that time, I think even now, people are divided along caste system, caste line. And usually you don't feel the pain of the other caste. You don't think, they deserve the same opportunity as you do. The caste system blinds people. But the Buddha, when he saw a sick person, a person who was very ill, and a dead body with relatives crying around that, and an old man walking with difficulty, very frail, he started thinking, if everybody will have to go through this. He didn't like what he saw. Those experiences shook him to the core. First he became frightened, but then when he stopped and examined closely, he saw that those frightened experiences will not only be waiting for him and his loved ones, but for everyone alive. So you can see, from a frightened mind, it became a very courageous mind. You can see two alternatives. We call compassion, in Pali we call karuna. if your compassion is as great as the Buddha, as to embrace all religions, all the differences, different opinions, different characters, different nationalities, different social status, then your compassion deserves to be called great compassion, Mahakaruna. So if you go to work, if you are suffering from impatience and frustration from the traffic jam in the morning, first relate to your own suffering, trying to develop compassion. Direct your mind to compassion. Feel compassion towards yourself. At first, it may look a bit artificial, but this is how you should direct your mind to that. Somebody who starts, playing football the first time, when you start kicking, you can't be doing like a professional. But practice makes perfect, makes everything perfect. First, you're trying to relate to your own problem and direct your mind towards compassion towards yourself. And then look at people that you see in front of you, behind you, who are also stuck in the traffic jam. Trying to feel their pain, trying to bring to your awareness that they are in the same situation. And not just here in Yangon, but also in Bangkok, maybe in Mandalay also, in Colombo, in New Delhi, Calcutta, Mumbai, Beijing, in Europe, London, Paris, everywhere. New York, California, all the big cities in America. We share this experience. So you can turn this experience into your strength. When you feel frustrated, your subconscious mind will push your brain to go into emergency mode. And your whole system, your whole bodily system, physical system, will be using more energy than you should. So by the time you reach your office, you reach your workplace, you will be drained because you have been using so much of your energy. Our brain is weight only 2% of our body, but it uses, as you know, at least 25% of the energy that the body has. This is in normal circumstances. In emergency situation, the brain will, just calls on all the energies and uses up. Uses all up, because the subconscious mind is giving a false information. This is a fight and flight, a survival case, a survival instinct will kick in. A traffic jam is hardly a survival case. It's a daily experience for you and for me. So, if we are not careful, even our daily experience can change our mind and body into negative character. It can develop negative emotion, negative habits, negative attitude. But if we direct our mind. We use a bit of our mindfulness to direct our mind towards compassion. Then the greater the pain, the stronger the compassion can be. And with compassion, you don't actually go into emergency mode. You don't actually drain a lot of your energy. Instead, you preserve your energy. Just like the mother is able to cope with the behavior of her son, into his 20s, 30s, perhaps, not just one day, not just 1 year, but many years. We also, we can't cope with a stranger's behavior like that. This is because we don't have compassion. If we have compassion, we will be able to cope with anyone, just like a mother with only one child, coping with the behavior and the burden of her only child. So we breathe in and out, slowly, gently, and trying to feel physical pain or psychological pain. Psychological pain means disappointment, and trying to feel compassion for yourself. After that, feel the pain of your friend, one friend at least, and feel his or her pain, and then develop compassion towards him or her. And you expand this exercise until you embrace everyone on earth, including people who don't like you or people you don't like. If you can do that, whatever people who don't like you, whatever they do, won't affect you, because you now understand that they are suffering from jealousy, from insecure feeling. That is why they say like that, they do things like that. Instead of feeling angry or frightened, you actually feel their pain and become compassionate towards them. Now, I'd like to offer you relaxation meditation technique. Relaxation meditation technique. Please sit in the way you feel comfortable. You can even lean on the wall if you like, but put your hands on the floor beside you, with your palms upward. Okay, not like this. Upward like this. I'm going to be guiding you for about 10 minutes in relaxation meditation. You can do this after lunch. You can do this whenever you feel tired. This is to train. I'd like to offer you relaxation meditation technique. You can sit on your chair, or you can sit on the floor, or you can even lie on the floor if you like. You can place your hands just beside you, not on your lap, with your palms upward. You keep them separately. And you can start breathing slow and gentle. Slow and gentle breathing. We don't need to force our body to relax. Instead, we can recognize that the body is tired and the muscles are tense. We can feel compassion towards the tired body after a long day work, after so many days work, after so many months, so many years work. The body has accumulated a lot of stress. So the muscles are tense and the body is tired. With this awareness, with this knowledge, with this acceptance, breathe in and out, slow and gentle. Don't fight with tiredness. Don't reject tiredness. Instead, accept the tiredness with compassion. It's okay for the body to feel tired. Actually, it's a message from the body that we have to listen with sympathy and understanding. Breathe in and out, slow and gentle. Accepting that the body is tired. Reassuring yourself it's okay that the body is tired. Now move your attention to your head, to the muscles around your head. The muscles around your head are tense because they are tired. You have been working whole day. So breathe in and out. Breathe in sufficiently, mindfully, for the tired muscles around your head. Breathe out gently, relax. It's okay for the muscles to be tense and tight. Don't fight with them. Don't run away from them. Instead, embrace the tense muscles with compassion, reassuring your subconscious mind it's okay. It's okay. Breathing in, slow and gentle. Breathing out, slowly, relax. Now move your attention to the areas around your ears, both left and right. The muscles around your ears are also tense because they are tired. Breathe in slow and gentle with compassion. Breathe out slow and gentle. Relax. Now move your attention to your forehead. The muscles around your forehead are also tense because they are tired. Your brain creates a lot of stress and passes on the stress chemical down the whole body. So the muscles around your forehead are tense because they are tired. Breathe in and out slow and gentle. Relax. Move your attention down to the areas around your eyes. The areas around your eyes are also tense because they are tired. You use so much of your eyes from the time you wake up until you go to bed. No break. So they are very tired. Breathe in and out, slow and gentle, relax. Now move your attention to your cheeks, left and right. You can feel tension in the muscles, tension in your chin, in your jaw. Breathe in and out, slow and gentle. Place your tongue on the floor of your mouth. With gentle and slow breathing, relax the muscles. move your attention down to your neck, where the muscles are tense. Our neck has to hold the burden of the whole head. Constantly, this work goes on. It goes on day and night, every single day throughout our life. Especially when we sit and walk. So breathe in and out, slow and gentle. Relax. Relax the muscles around your neck. Slow and deep breathing. Now move your attention down to your shoulders, where the muscles are tense, your shoulders are stiff. You carry many responsibilities and burdens. Some of them you can see with your eyes, some of them you can't. So don't fight with stiffness or tension. Instead, look at them with compassion. Breathe deep and slow. Gentle. Move your attention down to your arms, your elbows, your hands, your palms, your fingers. You can feel tension along the muscles. For example, your elbows, they work really hard to coordinate between your arms and your hands. There's no break. There's no recognition either of their hard work. So breathe in and out, slow and gentle, and relax. Then move your attention to your backbone and lower back. They have accumulated a lot of stress, supporting the whole body, to stand, to walk, to sit. So give them some recognition and compassion for the hard work they do. And now move your attention to your lower part of the body, your thighs, where the muscles are tense because of too much sitting or too much standing or too much walking. Your knees, they do a lot of coordination work. When you sit, when you walk, when you stand. even when you sleep. And your legs, your ankles, your feet, your toes. Feel that tension. Reassure your subconscious mind is okay to feel tense and tired. Breathe in mindfully with compassion and breathe out gently. Relax. Relax all the muscles. Now go back to breathing. Focus on breathing in and out yourself. Slow and gentle breathing. Mindful of the body being tired and exhausted. Does anyone have any question or comment?
What is subconscious mind? In Buddhist perspective, is higher energy?
Bhavanka Citta is one of the many types of subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, the difference between subconscious mind and fully conscious mind is that there is no independent reasoning or wisdom in subconscious mind. So, in deep psychological functioning, we may equate subconscious mind with ignorant mind, with the mind that is dominated by ignorance. The mind that is functioning only with habits. So there are many characteristics of subconscious mind. Is a place where we can store a lot of information as well, limitless in the subconscious mind. But wisdom or understanding takes place only with conscious mind. If subconscious mind is equated to ignorance in some way, then habitual reaction is equal to sankhara. That's habitual reaction.
Another example, or elaborate a bit more on the subconscious mind?
We choose what we like, we reject what we don't like, usually out of our subconscious mind. If the rejection is associated with negative emotion, negative emotion is akusala in akusala citta, akusala cittasika in Abhidhamma term. That's the unwholesome mind, unwholesome mental faculties. So you can see, we think we are fully conscious, but in terms of understanding suffering, understanding dukkha, we are not conscious. We are not fully conscious of suffering. In that sense, it's not like what the medics would describe being conscious and not conscious. Being conscious, not conscious in medical terms is okay. You're aware of what's going around you. This is being conscious. Not being aware of what's going around you. This is being unconscious. When you are under medication, like in the operation theater, for example, anesthetic. But my understanding in Buddhist psychology and philosophy is that when we analyze the function of the mind, the mind is fully connected and consciously connected with pain of ourselves and others. This is introspection and internally and externally. This means the mind is fully conscious. In that moment, hardly any unwholesome thought can arise.
So fully conscious means the mind that is together with wisdom or just awareness?
In the Buddhist philosophy, awareness doesn't take place on its own, and wisdom doesn't take place without awareness. For the sake of convenience, we use mindfulness, we use wisdom, whatever we use, but they all come together. When we talk about eightfold paths, we are not talking about eight parts. We are talking about just one part. Ariyo Atangiko Maggo in Pali, just a single expression. Single the verb is spoken, is written in a single how do you say voice, single voice. Maggo, that's one part. That means in the Buddhist philosophy, we believe when awareness, so wisdom and concentration, effort, right attitude, where everything comes together. Even in Abhidhamma, when we talk about sati cannot take place on its own. So we talk so much about association, like from citta's point of view, from the mind, from consciousness point of view, or from Vichittasika's point of view. This is where we talk about sankhara and sampayika. Where we start with Chittasika or citta. That's how we talk about sampayika and sankhara. The message is that nothing exists on its own. No single psychological element exists on its own. So, academically, it may be interesting, to ask a question, just with awareness or with wisdom. I think that may not be the right way of describing. We can talk about the level of awareness. If the level of awareness is this much, the level of wisdom is this much. Sometimes wisdom factor is more prominent, sometimes awareness is more prominent, sometimes effort is more prominent, sometimes concentration is more prominent. So we may talk about prominence factor, but not those factors, operating single-handed. Any more comments and questions?
This kind of explanation with many other people before?
Usually this is what the way I approach in the retreats that I run. I have I run about 4 to 5 retreats, mainly in Europe and in Thailand. Once in Thailand and the rest in Europe, maybe about 4 in Europe usually, short and long. In England, in Spain, in Hungary, in Serbia, like that. This is the approach that I follow. Thank you. Yeah, but these 6 titles, I just wrote them on the back of the envelope earlier, just before you came. We can't say exactly that subconscious mind is ignorance. But in the subconscious mind, ignorance dominates. We can say this. We can make this statement. But we can't equip them. Okay. Like ignorance is subconscious mind. Because in psychology as well as in Buddhist psychology, in Western psychology, but in Buddhist psychology, the subconscious mind has many aspects. And the same goes with us, okay? Ignorance has many levels. And we remove them layer by layer. So, but I found this approach to be beneficial for Westerners because they are more aware of psychological terms. They may not have studied psychology in the school, but in the daily life conversation, people use a lot of psychological terms.
Regarding this habitual mind, because we can have many habits, and ignorance is also kind of habit, as they say. Then, sometimes can it be like a hatred, or can it be sometimes it is greed?
Yes. What we call defilements, all of them are habits. If we go back to the first sermon of the Buddha, now I'm being a little bit text reliant. In the definition of the second noble truth, samudaya, the cause of suffering, you have 3 definitions. One is that the psychological element that repeats itself again and again. In Pali is called bonobhavika. It repeats itself again and again. This is nothing but habit. In English, in the English language, if you do something just once, we don't call this habit. You see? Habit is something that you do it often, that it becomes almost your second nature. You hardly need to make any effort to repeat this. So, habits. Anything that repeats itself again and again, meaning anything that is habitual. And in that habit, there is some delight. People who hate each other, who shout, who swear at each other, okay, they get some delight in that. Some psychological relief when they swear, when they talk about the people they hate. And they are addicted to that. The reason they are addicted is because they find some delight. But that delight is very short-lived. So the third characteristic is that you keep searching for that delight again and again, here and there. So 3 characteristics. habitual repetition, short-lived delight, and looking for that delight here and there. Any comment and question from fellow participants?
Yes, I'm just thinking about the when you talk about the I think yes, the fourth point, the running again.
Increasing discomfort.
What's in your mind that some people they feel afraid of the goal, but they are still enjoying the listening to ghost stories.
Yes, exactly. As people are under its illusion that they can run away from something that they don't like. Like what you say, okay, in our monastery in Oxford, in England, we have summer camp, where kids come and train with us. And it's very hard to put them to bed. Is one of them mothers who stay with them, and in the morning, the mother is always exhausted, putting to bed not just her child but also other children. Because children, they want excitement and they like to tell ghost story. And then they can't sleep, but they are so addicted to that they have to repeat that every night. And people, okay, take another example, gossip. Gossip, we gossip about things that we don't like, that we, or at least we disapprove of, or that we don't totally agree with. And whenever we talk about it, there is some delight in that. That is why we get hooked to that kind of habit. Okay? That's gossiping. There is a lot of energy in that habit. It keeps you going. But the delight that you get from gossiping doesn't last long. So you have to keep repeating it again and again. You see, that's the trick of habit. If no more questions and comments, we may bring the session to the end by reciting Buddha Sasana Jiran together. Buddha Sasana Jiran Titati, Buddha Sasana Jiran Titati, Buddha Sasana Jiran Titati, Sadhu.